Hey, 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 fam bam. What's up, what's up, what's up? It's your girl, Santina, and I'm back with another video. So, I hope everybody's doing well on this beautiful day. God is good, and I'm so thankful to be among the land of the living one more time. All right, so today I want to talk about dating in school with a disability. Hey! Now, this is my story, you guys. Everybody else may have different stories. I hope that your story was a little better than mine. I hope your experience was a little better than mine. But this is how it went for me. All right, so dating in school. So first of all, in elementary school, middle school, I didn't really have any boyfriends or anything like that. In those ages, you kind of don't really know too much about dating, or you don't take it seriously because you really don't. I mean, elementary school, middle school, you don't really know nothing about dating anyway, but people still had their little boyfriends, little girlfriends or whatever, and I just didn't, right? But wait, there was this one boy in elementary school. I'm still friends with him till today. He was legally blind as well, but he's totally blind now. Like, I was even around when he completely lost his sight. But I had a crush on him when we were in elementary school. That was like my first little crush. I don't know, maybe I was in like the third grade or maybe the third grade. I had a crush on him. And like I said, he's a part of, my group of friends today. All of us kind of grew up together. And that was just an elementary school crush. After elementary school, I no longer, had feelings for him like that. He kind of went his way, I went my way, but I had a little crush on him. So, but that was it. You know, I did have people that I liked. And the guy, the boy, he liked me too, but we didn't know anything. We were in third grade. Come on. So that didn't really go anywhere. Um, I had a boy in fifth grade. His name was Eric. Ooh, Eric was so cute. I'll never forget. But I had a crush on him. And of course, I would never say anything. I would never say anything to these people because I got made fun of my whole life. Like, all throughout my school age years. I got made fun of. So there's no way that I would ever go to any boy and say, hey, I like you. Do you like me? Or whatever girls say in elementary school. I wouldn't do it. So I never knew if anybody did like me. So we just kept it at that. If people liked me, they were too embarrassed to say something, or I don't know. I can't really say why. If a guy liked me, he wouldn't say anything other than the fact that people made fun of me, and he probably would get made fun of for liking me. So, that was my elementary school experience. Middle school, uh, I don't recall having any kind of encounter with a boy. Like, I started to have a crush on teachers then. Forget the kids. I had a crush on a teacher, Mr. Owens. I will never forget. That man was so fine. Everybody liked him. All the girls liked him. So it's not like it was weird that I liked the man. Nope. That man was fine, okay? So I had a crush on Mr. Owens. Mr. Owens knew that all the little girls in the school had a crush on him, but of course, he played it cool. He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't, you know what I'm saying? He was a cool guy. But everybody had a crush on Mr. Owens. I had a crush on Mr. Owens from the 6th grade all the way to the 8th grade, all the way to graduation. I was so happy when, I think in 8th grade we had, well, it was in 8th grade, like they made us these little books, like memory books, where your friends and your teachers, if they want to sign it or leave you a little message in there, they could. And oh, I was so happy when I got Mr. Owens to sign my book. I halfway remember what he said. He said, continue to strive for excellence. Something, something, something. I just know he said something about continuing to strive for excellence. Oh my goodness, I cherish that little note as if he said he was in love with me. That's how I cherished that thing. I was like, oh my goodness, I got Mr. Owens to sign. I was too excited. I would try to meet up with that man during his lunch hour, because he used to have his lunch hour in his classroom. He used to be in his classroom. And so one day I was bold enough to knock on the door and say, Mr. Owens, will you sign my my book? And he did. He wrote me a little note in there. It was so nice of him. And let's see, what else happened? I think that was it. I had other crushes on other teachers, but Mr. Owens, he was number one right there. Like, yeah, he was like the dream crush, the dream teacher crush. He was. So, but anyway, that was middle school. I never had a boyfriend. I think I had a young boy that liked me in the 6th grade. What was that boy's name? Clarence. Clarence. Now, me and Clarence was in, I think it was social studies together. And he was nice to me. You know what I'm saying? He didn't make fun of me or anything like that. But, you know, he didn't want to be like too close to me where people would, you know, think that he liked me or anything like that. But we used to sit at the same table. And so he did. I think he did like me. One day we came up with a plan to cheat on the test together, right? So we had the answers and stuff written down. And tell me why Clarence got caught cheating. And when he got caught cheating, he could have exposed me because we were both doing the same thing. He got in trouble, but he never ratted me out. He sat there and was watching me continue to cheat on my tests. He never ratted me out, never. He was nice to me. Things that kids made fun of me about, he would kind of help me, because I used to get these cold sores. I started getting them in 6th grade. And the first time, it was like, I don't know what it was. It was like a bump that grew and it had fluid in it or something. I don't know. I had never experienced it before. I don't know where it came from or anything. But he pulled me to the side and he was like, I had one of those before. All you got to do is pop it and some stuff will come out. And I was like, no, I don't want to pop it. It's going to hurt. So he convinced me to pop it and the fluid came out and it was okay. But man, he could have made fun of me. He could have laughed at me, anything, but he didn't. He never did. And I don't know, maybe Clarence was just a nice kid, you know, or maybe he had a crush on me. I don't know which one, because just because somebody nice to you, that don't mean that they got a crush on you. They just might be people who are like, man, I'm not about to make fun of people. I'd rather be friends with the person than make fun of them, because I've met people like that too. But yeah, I didn't like Clarence like that. And I wasn't sure about him either, him liking me, so I just, whatever. But that was the closest thing that I had as far as being close to a male in middle school. I didn't have a boyfriend, nothing like that. So then we move on to high school. Now, you know, high school is when people really start to be interested in the opposite sex. Like, that's when really, when things really start happening. That's when people start having sex with each other. That's when, you know, relationships in our eyes kind of start to mean something, right? Start to be taken seriously. So, high school. There was this guy named Lawrence. How I remember all these people's names? There was this guy named Lawrence. Now, of course, me being legally blind, I'm in this room called the resource room, which I was in mainstream classes, meaning I was in classes with all the other students. But mainstream, the resource room is for, you know, if you have a disability and you need extra help. Like, for instance, I needed extra help because sometimes the worksheets and things like that the teachers would give you, they're too small for me to read. So I would have to go to the resource room to use the machines that they have to help make my paperwork bigger, to make the print bigger. Or I could use this thing called a CCTV, where it's a TV. It's actually like a TV screen, and it's attached to a table, and it has I actually have one. I'm gonna have to pull it out so you guys can see it. It has a microscope that points down to the table, a telescope that points down to the table, and you put your paper up under that telescope on the table, and you can make it as big as you want, as small as you want. You can change the color of the paper, the color of the letters. Like, comment and let me know if you, being legally blind in school, if you've used a CCTV before. So sometimes I would sit down there and do my work, and then sometimes my teacher in the resource room would enlarge my paperwork so that I could take it back to class and do it. So, you know, and then I always had a certain period where I have time in the resource room. Like, if I have work I need help with, or if I have something that, you know, I need to finish for class, or homework that I need to do at school because I need to use the devices there in the classroom because I didn't have them at home. You know what I'm saying? So I would always have a certain hour or a certain period where this is my resource room time, kind of like a study hall or a study period, you know, kind of like that. So there was this guy named Lawrence. I can't remember how I met him. I don't know if I met him in a class or in the hallway. I can't remember how I met this boy. But he supposedly liked me, right? And so he would come and sit in the classroom with me, in the resource room class. And they would allow him in there because the teacher kind of knew him a little bit, and he was a good kid. So they didn't mind him coming in there and chilling if he didn't have a class that he needed to be at, or like it was his lunch hour and he didn't want to go to lunch. He would pop in there and sit with me. And, you know, we hit it off. Everything was real nice and cool. And it was like he became my boyfriend. But then it was like he was only my boyfriend. Like, I only seen him during my time in the resource room. So that's how it kind of was. But then one day I was in the hallway and I was going to class. I think I was going to one of my classes. And I saw him, and it was easy to spot him because he was like one of the only ones in the school that had a big gigantic fro. Like, his fro was big, and it was probably another guy that was like that, but he was either darker or lighter, something like that. So I could point him out by his body shape and his huge afro. So I saw him one day in the hallway. He was at his locker, and I walked up to him, and when he seen me coming towards him, that boy took off running down the hall. So I was trying to catch up with him at first until I realized what was happening. Like, wow, this boy is actually running from me. So it was like at that moment, I knew that he only liked me when we were alone, but he wouldn't dare let anybody else see, that he liked me or that he was interested in me, because like I said, I got made fun of. So he wasn't about to be caught with the girl that everybody made fun of, right? So that was sad. That hurt my feelings because I thought the boy really liked me, and I couldn't have a boyfriend because, hey, anybody that dated me, they would get clowned. Like, the whole school would laugh at you. So it was tough, but it was what it was. My feelings was hurt. So I never looked forward to having a boyfriend. I never looked forward to a boy liking me. I kind of just let it go. And, they made fun of me because I was in a bad foster home. Nobody really knew the story behind the way that I dressed or the way that my hair was or anything. Like, nobody knew the story behind it. All they knew was I came to school with some ugly looking Payless shoes on. Y'all remember Payless? If anybody remembers Payless, that's like the cheap shoe store. But I love Payless. I would never sleep on Payless. But it seemed like my foster mom would go in there and get the ugliest shoes. And Payless had some nice shoes now. I would shop at Payless today if Payless was still open. But it seemed like she would purposely get the raggedy, like, I'd be looking at shoes that I would like to wear, and she'll go pick the other ones that look like some ugly house shoes, or look like some shoes that you can just ball up and throw in the trash. Like, come on. And then when I was in high school, it was about style too. Like, the type of school I went to, if you go to school looking like a bum, you're going to get laughed at. And I'm not saying that she should have dressed me in designer clothes and all of that. I mean, I liked that stuff, but it wasn't like, oh man, I have to have this stuff, But I did like it. But she could have did a lot better than what she did. I'm in the 10th grade looking like I'm in the 6th grade. And there was something I forgot to tell you about middle school. We had school colors, which was blue, white, and black, right? So when school started, when I was in 6th grade, we were told that we had to wear the school colors, meaning that we're supposed to wear uniforms, right? But when I got to the school, nobody ever wore uniforms. This is what I was told. My foster mom said we're supposed to wear uniforms. So I'm going to school from the 6th grade to the 8th grade wearing the same old outfits. I had blue pants and black pants, like the uniform pants that you see the kids wear at school. I had white shirts and black shirts and blue shirts, right? That is what I wore to school for 3 years. Not one single person in that school ever wore any kind of uniform colors. Everybody wore what they wanted to wear. But my foster mom made me wear the uniform, even though I told her, nobody ever wears the uniform. No one wears the school colors. She could have even called the school and said, is it mandatory that the children wear, the uniforms? Or it was uniforms that they didn't give us the uniforms. It was stuff that, okay, we knew the school colors. So we went out and got the khaki pants, the colors that we were supposed to get, and the little polo shirts, the colors that we were supposed to get. Not one single person wore those clothes except for me. Okay? Not one single person. So that was probably another reason why boys wasn't interested in me. I wore the same old stuff every day. It's terrible. So that sucked too. I forgot to tell you guys about that. But going back to high school, that really messed me up with what Lawrence did. Like, that was bold. It seemed like we really hit it off. We had a lot in common. He enjoyed talking to me. Like, he chose to come see me during during his lunch hour or whatever hour it was. I never knew when he was coming. I never said, hey, I want you to come. No, he knew where I was at, and he came to see me whenever he had a chance. So it was like, if you didn't want to be made fun of, why even bother me? I didn't go chasing this man, this boy, I should say, asking for him to be with me. I never did that because I never expected anybody to like me. So why would I embarrass myself going behind a boy? I keep saying man, but in high school, these are boys. Going behind a boy asking him to be with me. There's no way I would embarrass myself like that. So he could have just left me alone and saved me the embarrassment. But anyway, there was a boy that I knew that was in the resource room too. And he liked me. Now, all this time, I know my husband. I know Tremaine. He was not my friend back then. He was just somebody that was a part of the group. I didn't like him because he was spoiled. And I don't like spoiled, complainy kids. Like, I felt like he complained all the time. He was spoiled. So I wasn't, Now, Trey, he had a girlfriend through high school. You know what I'm saying? So he don't have all these extra stories because, he had somebody in high school. But this other guy, he was legally blind as well. He could see a little bit, just like I can see a little bit. But he was like a bugaboo, like for real. He was dang near begging me to be with him. I didn't like this boy. I wasn't interested in him in any kind of way. He wasn't my type. Physically, emotionally, none of that. Nothing. I had no feelings for this boy. But he was a bugaboo because after every class, he knew where all my classes were. After every class, he would be standing there waiting for me to come out the classroom to walk me to my next class or to carry my books or, whatever. Or if I go to my locker, sometimes he's standing there waiting for me. And I'm like, man, why won't this boy leave me alone? I told him I don't like him. But no, nope. He was right there, ready to beg and continue begging. And I'm like, man, what is it? So eventually I gave in. And was like, okay. I'll be your girlfriend. So he was so happy. I let it go on for a little bit. I ended up moving. So that made it a little easier. I didn't really have to be around him or anything. And so I just gave in because he kept bugging me. Eventually, he ended up cheating on me with one of my friends, one of my other blind friends. And I wasn't even mad at him. I wasn't even mad at her. Because it was great to have an excuse to break up with the boy. So I'm like, shoot, okay, thank God he done cheated. I can move on. I got a reason to tell him I don't want to deal with you no more. And that was that. So yeah, that situation right there, that was a mess. I wasn't interested in him like that. So after that, there was this guy, I don't know what he wanted. I was walking down the hallway, going somewhere, and I heard this boy say, excuse me. He was a little further down the hall, coming from my direction that I was coming from. He was coming, so he was behind me. And he's like, excuse me. And he sounded very polite. But I said, nope, I'm not even about to turn around and see what this boy wants, because as soon as he see me, he's going to make fun of me. So he called out to me a couple times. He didn't know me. He clearly didn't know me because he didn't say my name or nothing like that. I don't know if he wanted to ask for directions. I don't know if he wanted to ask me, did I know where something was at? I don't know if he was interested in trying to talk to me. But either way it went, I stayed away from boys because if they see me from far away, it might be like, oh, okay, you know, she kind of cute. But then once I get close, it's like, oh, never mind. Because they can see that my eyes are, you know, looking a certain way. And they're like, nope. So anyway, I didn't turn around. And I ended up in by this time, I was in a different foster home. And I was able to have my hair done. And I was able to dress for school a little bit better. So by the time this boy came about and he was trying to call me, I was already just, you know, insecure about myself. Like, there's no way a boy would call me because he wants to talk to me. So, and even if he did, by the time I walked up to him, he would have changed his mind. So I don't know what the young man wanted. And to this day, I still wonder, like, I wonder what that boy was calling me for. But I was too ashamed of myself to turn around and see what he wanted. I just wanted to keep going. I didn't want to give anybody a reason to laugh at me or talk about me or hear them laughing as I'm walking away. But he sounded kind of, he did kind of chuckle a little bit, but it was like more like a, dang, she just gonna ignore me kind of laugh. It wasn't like he was laughing at me. He was kind of embarrassed at the fact that I didn't respond. I didn't turn around. I didn't nothing. I just kept walking like I didn't hear him. So that's how it was. And then when I moved to Monroe, Michigan, that was another foster home I moved to. I went to high school there. That's where I finished my high school years. I had like a year and a half left. I always had a crush on somebody, but I wouldn't dare express it to anybody, you know. So people didn't make fun of me in this school as much as the rest of my school life was. You know, this school, it wasn't about fashion. It wasn't about, you know, who dressed the best, who looked the best. This was pretty much a Caucasian school. And in this school, everybody wore pajama pants and hoodies to school. And it was weird for me because I'm coming from a school where everybody's fashion designer this, and they got the newest shoes out, and they got the newest clothes, the newest jacket, coat, whatever it is, where people get shot over some shoes or a coat. You know what I'm saying? Because, hey, you can't, if somebody want what you have, they're going to take it. But when I went to this school, Monroe High School, it wasn't like that. Everybody was laid back. Like I said, I didn't have to push to dress a certain way or to have my hair a certain way. These kids, they get up in the morning, jump in the shower, wash their hair, and get on the bus with their hair wet, and they just shaking their hair out, like, you know, just shaking it out, like, and they go to school like that. I didn't have the pressure of having my hair a certain way, wearing a certain type of clothes. I kind of fit in, you know. So I didn't get made fun of as much, and I didn't get made fun of about my eyes as much. I didn't get a boyfriend, no, but it wasn't as bad. You know, I felt a little more comfortable in that school than I did in the hood in Detroit going to Osborne High School. So it was all right. I had this one guy that I had a crush on. He was in ROTC. We were in our ROTC together. And he was cool. Like, sometimes he would take me home from practice and stuff like that. Because I said, you know, I was on the drill team and stuff. And me and his sister were very close. And sometimes they would give me a ride home from practice. And he was cool. Like, I liked him. I had a crush on him, but I wouldn't dare say anything. And he was real nice to me. He wasn't one of those guys that cared about what anybody thought. He was living his own life. Like, he was growing up to be a pastor, a preacher. So he didn't really have time to worry about, oh, what is somebody going to say about me? For me, he seemed to be a very mature young man for his age. He wasn't really worried about the kids and what they liked or he didn't care about the stuff they cared about. And, he was just pretty cool. So if he did like me, I don't see him not saying anything because he's worried about if kids are going to laugh at him. If he liked me, he probably didn't say anything because he probably didn't know if I liked him, And it was the same reason why I didn't say anything to him. I didn't know if he would have liked me, and I didn't want the rejection. I knew he would never laugh at me or make fun of me. That wasn't an issue. But I'm so used to people not liking me like that I didn't want to take the chance to even bring it up. I thought about it, but I'm like, no, that boy ain't gonna like me. So, but I told his sister about it one day after we graduated, and she like, Santina, why didn't you tell him? Why didn't you tell him? You should have said something. And I'm like, man, girl, no. But I think she thought that maybe he would have liked me too if I would have said something. But I'm like, no, no. Then later on in life, I find out that somebody that was on the I don't know if he was on the track team or the basketball team. One of them teams he was on, I think it was basketball. I was told that he had a crush on me. And I was like, well, why didn't he say anything? He was cute, you know what I'm saying? He was somebody that I looked at, but no, there was no way. Maybe I don't know why he didn't say anything to this day. It could be, maybe he thought he would have gotten made fun of. It could be, maybe he didn't know if I was interested. Like some people, they don't tell you their feelings because they're afraid of rejection too. And like I said, when I was at this school, people didn't really make fun of me like that. Now, I wasn't wearing my glasses with the big bifocals, and I wasn't using my cane or anything like that. So, I pretty much looked normal, but I didn't have a resource room at this school. Somebody would come out maybe twice a week to pick up work for me and get it enlarged for me or whatever, or I would, spend a little time with them discussing my needs or how I'm coping or what's going on, so I didn't really have anything separating me from the other students. Like they didn't have the program that I needed or that I had when I was in Detroit. So that's basically what it was. I was in completely in mainstream. I didn't have any resource room. I didn't have none of that. So yeah, and by that time I was able to I learned how to do my own hair, and then I was living with other sisters that did my hair for me, or I was able to watch them do my hair, and I learned how to do my own hair. So I wasn't looking like a ugly duckling or a ragamuffin at this time. I was looking like the rest of the kids. So it was all good. But yeah, high school, it wasn't a very good experience for me. Now, some people did have good experiences. Like my husband, he didn't get made fun of in school. He didn't have, girls laughing at him or talking about him. He didn't have, people rejecting him like that. There was this one boy. Now, this right here, this took the cake right here, y'all. This is terrible. So there was this one boy named Travis. Hey, Travis, you did me so bold. There was this one boy named Travis. And I was in, I think maybe the 10th grade. I might have even been in the 9th grade. Me and Travis were in African American history together, I believe it was. And Travis liked me. So he pulled me to the side one day and he told me he liked me. And I was like, oh, I liked him too a little bit. He wasn't like one of those crushes that I was looking at like, ooh, I like Travis. It wasn't like that. But back then I was really into boys that had fros. Like afros were really big back then, like in the late 90s. And me and Travis, he had a little fro, I couldn't see well enough to know that it was a real nappy fro, but hey, it was a fro. People made fun of Travis because he was kind of like me. The only difference is he didn't have a disability. His clothes was like, they looked like hand-me-down clothes. He didn't wear none of the name brand stuff. He was just more so, he looked, you know, he kind of dressed like me, you know, and people made fun of him. But hey, you know, I gave him a chance. We liked each other. We will walk to class together and stuff like that sometimes, and we'll be standing at the locker talking sometimes. And you know, then one day, I mean, people made fun of Travis for liking me. It was crazy. People made fun of Travis. They didn't come to me talking about, oh, you like ugly Travis? You know, they didn't do that to me. They made fun of him for liking me. I'm like, man, this world is crazy. Like, I'm really the laughing stock of my whole generation in Detroit. Like, man, you know, just the laughing stock of all of my peers. That pretty much that's what I'm saying. I'm the laughing stock of all of my peers in the city of Detroit. Like, I don't care how bad you look, how bad you dress. If you dating Santina, oh, they gonna talk about you. They gonna laugh at you. So Travis, one day he came to me. I think I was outside the classroom, or we were coming out the classroom, and he walked up to me and was like, I can't date you no more because my ex-girlfriend moved back on my street or something. I think they used to live in the same street or on the same block or something like that. And he said she just moved back, so he couldn't date me no more, and then he ran off. And I'm like, dang, wow. I don't know if the story is true or if he just said it because he was trying to, you know, get out of being made fun of all the time for dating me, because he already got made fun of as it was, but then, you know, it just added icing to the cake for him to be dating me. So maybe he used that as an excuse to get out of, you know, getting made fun of by people all the more. So I don't know. It sucked for me. Dating, it really sucked. In school, that's really all of the situations that I can remember. I never had a boyfriend. Even when it came to not graduation, prom. I went to prom with one of my foster sisters because nobody asked me to prom. Nobody wanted to date me. You know what I'm saying? So I went to prom with my foster sister, and she had more fun than I did because, you know, she was able to see. She was able to see who was who. And she was able to go around and hang out with people and dance with people. And I had fun with her. You know, if I would have went by myself, it would have been just dead for me. But she was the one person that I had to hang with. Like my other friends that I had, they weren't in my class. They were like either graduating in the year behind me or 2 years behind me. So I didn't really have any senior friends like that. So, yeah, I didn't have anybody at prom. I'm glad my foster sister came with me because she was a junior at the time. I was a senior. So she went to my prom with me. And then by the time her prom came up, she had a boyfriend. So she didn't have a reason to ask me to go to prom with her. But yeah, that's my story. That's my story. It sucked, but it's okay. You know, I think that I look at it like by that happening to me, it saved me from a lot of things that could have happened because I was not really prepared for these things. Like, I didn't have a mother that would talk to me about boys or that would talk to me about dating or sex or any of those things that girls need help with. You know what I'm saying? So, and then if I did get a boyfriend, I was so sheltered that I wouldn't even be able to do anything. I could barely even talk on the phone. So it was like, it was pointless for me to even have a boyfriend because there was nothing that was going to come out of it because of my living situation. So But yeah, that's my dating story, you guys. It's all good though, because as an adult, I got to get out a little bit more, and that's when I really got to experience dating, which is really when you should really experience dating as an adult. As kids, you don't really know. You don't know anything about anything. So it was all good. Everything worked out. Now, I have a son. I'm married. I have a little dog, a house. Everything's good. So that was just past situations that happened. And hey, it is what it is. But I do want to encourage people. It's okay to, if you're interested in somebody, to say something. Sometimes I just needed to develop thicker skin in my situation, because people made fun of me and I understood why. That was the thing. I understood why, and that's why I kind of looked down on myself too, because I'm like, man, yeah, look at the way I'm dressing. Look at my hair. My foster mom would get my hair done, but it would be in for a couple of months, to the point where the braids are falling out. Like, I would get braids, like, say I got these braids right here, but back in the day, they were a little different. Like, I have synthetic hair in right now, and back then I wore synthetic hair as well, the braids, weave, and my hair would be in for so long that the synthetic hair would start coming out. And I felt like my foster mom in some form enjoyed making fun of me. She didn't really care about trying to make sure that I looked good, or that I always looked good going to school, or that I had on nice, decent clothes. Like, she thought it was funny too. And it was her that was making it this way for me. So that's part of the reason why I didn't date. Nobody ever wanted to be with me. Then I was real skinny. Ooh, I was a little skinny string bean. And back then, it wasn't cute to be skinny. People made fun of you. They had names that they called you when you were skinny. But when I became an adult, it was like, all of a sudden, people like skinny people, But yeah, I had a whole lot of stuff against me growing up. That's why my dating life was the way it was. It wasn't just about being legally blind. It was about everything. The whole package was just it wasn't there. And I can admit that. Even though kids shouldn't make fun of other kids, it was like, man, I was depressed about the way that I looked too, and the clothes that I wore. And I used to have to wear these glasses that had they got the thick bifocals on it, but then back then they had these glasses that had telescopes on them, and they had a big telescope on the front of my glasses, so that when I'm trying to read the board, I like sitting in class, and if I needed to read the board, I could just look into that telescope that's on my glasses and read the board that way. But I had to walk around like, man, come on, man. And then the glasses were so heavy that they put like an indent or a mark on the bridge of my nose. It was a mess. And my foster mom did not care. She didn't care about me being made fun of. Shoot, she laughed at me at home. That was nothing. But yeah, I hope people have a better story than mine. This is just my story. I would love to hear, your dating, how it went for you dating in school. I know some people do have good stories. You might have come across somebody that's has a disability like you. Like, I know a couple people who have dated, like my husband, his girlfriend that he was with for years, they both were totally blind. And some people run across people that don't care about your disability. They just like you for you, and they don't care how other people feel or what other people think. I haven't ran into that when I was in school. But some people have, you know, and it's cool. It's great. So don't give up. Don't give up on the dating thing. I know I don't really have high schoolers or kids that watch this video. I'm not sure, but I would love to hear your stories, like you guys, when you were in high school or middle school, elementary school. How was your dating life? Like, let me know what happened with you, you know, and just share. We would all love to hear, and, you know, I'll respond and you know, whatever. So, if you like this video, please make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, follow, all that good, wonderful stuff. Follow on Facebook and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have not already. If you've been watching these videos and you've been enjoying them, then what are you waiting for? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that post notification bell so you will be notified whenever I post, or whenever we post, or whenever we go live. All right, so we should be doing a live here soon. And we will be sure to let you guys know ahead of time so that you know when to look forward to it. All right. So thank you once again for watching, Fam Bam. I love you, love you, love you. Thanks, and I will see you on the next. I was about to say I'll watch you on the next one. But you'll watch me on the next one. And, you know, I'll holler at you in the comments on the next one. All right, love you. Bye.